Alright, what's up everyone? This is Taylor Horton, and this is the free video for Monday, January 3rd, 2022. So welcome to the new year. If you take a look at the S&P here, we're coming into 2022 with a pretty bullish structure. So you have a weekly squeeze here, which technically fires to the upside today. You have a 3-day squeeze with some stacked EMAs, and you have a daily squeeze here, also firing to the upside. So in my opinion, the S&P is setting up here to continue to trade into higher prices, and that should trigger some strength pretty much across the board. Same thing goes here for the Qs, so kind of take a look at this one from top to bottom. But you remember back here early November into early December, you get in a few weeks of volatility and selling pressure. My whole thought process was it's just a dip to weekly support, so let's try to avoid shorting it. Let's be patient here, but ultimately, if we can hold the weekly 21, and then we can print a daily squeeze that looks exactly like this. The stacked EMAs back above the 21, and you can see the histogram turns positive here. That bullish daily structure inside of really bullish weekly trend typically sets you up for a push into new highs. And that's what I'm looking for here on the QQQ. Take a look at the Dow as well. And your Dow's got a weekly, 3-day, daily, 4-hour, 2-hour, 60-minute, 30-minute squeeze. So it's a total squeeze fest here for the Dow. And I think it's all in pretty bullish trend. So I look for that daily squeeze and that series of lower time frame squeezes to also fire to the upside, taking the big Dow into new highs. And for principle's sake, we'll take a look here at the small caps. I don't really see any edge here just yet as far as a swing trade, so I do nothing with it. However, you are back above the 21 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're back above the 21 for 7 sessions. You do have a daily squeeze. The histogram has shifted, and I'll give you a look here at the 10x bars. Check this out. So from a daily down to a 5-minute, it's done a pretty good job of ridding itself of bearish momentum. I don't really see any edge here. I see edge in the QQQ and the S&P, but generally speaking, I think even with the small caps here, we have pretty good structure to our indexes. I'm looking for higher highs. So with that being said, one spot I would really have you focus on right now would be the semiconductors. So, the major thing for me when we're going through, whether it be a week or 2 weeks of volatility, is what holds structure, and then what completely, throws in the towel and crumbles. So, for example, Netflix here, early December, you get some volatility in the market. Netflix completely crumbles. Right? You lose trend, you lose structure, you lose momentum. In my opinion, you pretty much lose everything here to make a bullish argument. Compare this to, say, the SMH, the good old semis over here. You continue to hold structure. More importantly for me, every single day for well over a month, I'm getting my buy signal. And my buy signal tells me that weekly and daily trend, structure, and momentum, they're pretty much as bullish as possible. So these are the things I focus on when we're getting some selling pressure on the indexes. To the extent the indexes hold key support, print better looking daily charts, and everything kind of shapes up for another push into the upside, I come looking at something like the SMH. Is potentially, a group that could be leadership in the next leg to the upside. So I think you got a beauty here. Bullish daily squeeze, positive histogram. Again, I'm getting my buy signals. Weekly and daily charts have stacked EMAs and green 10x bars. Looking pretty sharp here. If you look at a few components of the SMH, you got Micron here, which for me, there's the ideal entry back at the 21. But don't get me wrong. Is you hold support here at the 8 EMA, what you could do is just dial down your time frame to, say, an hourly chart. And there's a bullish hourly squeeze. So it's not really my quote-unquote ideal swing trade entry, but in terms of trying to catch some continuation, you could look at something like that, or I think you could look at something trading a little bit closer to the buy zone. For example, AMD here. But we got some AMD in my mastery. Weekly and daily stacked EMAs, weekly and daily green 10x bars, bullish momentum in your daily squeeze, but you're trading at the buy zone. So my rule of thumb when I'm trading squeezes, and as a lot of you know, I only trade the squeeze, the high probability move, the quote-unquote easy money move, is going to be from the 21 EMA into about 2 ATR. So from that perspective, for me, a huge part of working my game plan is trying to take my entries as close to the 21 EMA as possible. That way, if I'm looking for 2 ATR, I can get the full 1 to 2. And you can limit your downside a lot better. So AMD here, it's in the right group. It has the right structure. I think it offers a pretty solid entry. So I might pick up a little bit more on old AMD. You also got Qualcomm. And that is a beautiful setup. Buy signals every day, stacked EMAs, green 10x bars. So I think pretty much, you want to run some scans here in the semiconductors and find the setup on a time frame that suits your style of trading. For me, being a swing trader, I typically want to give trades 2 to maybe 8+ weeks. These daily squeezes offer the perfect opportunity. So I think Qualcomm is quite the looker here. I think AMD setting up very nice. And then everybody's favorite, NVIDIA. It's a bit more chop right now. NVIDIA. I think for now you go with Qualcomm or AMD. They have a bit more momentum. They have positive histograms. They're a lot more firm above their 21, and they have stacked EMAs. So I don't doubt at some point NVIDIA could wake up here. I just think until it does, AMD, Qualcomm, and then NXPI, which Sam from the options room, he called this one out earlier. There's a perfect entry. So it's not that these entries work. It's just more so in terms of, if your next 100 trades could look like this, where you're getting long in a bullish uptrend at the 21 EMA in a squeeze with stacked EMAs, green 10x bars, when all those things come together, you're working the numbers game and you're working the probabilities game in your favor. So I like the semis here, my friends. A few more spots for you. In terms of Tesla, just beast mode. So crazy stuff here today. I don't really have a trade here. So I do kind of think it trades into brand new all-time highs. If anything, I'm going to need a 1 hour, a 30-minute, a 15-minute squeeze to try to work an entry, but quite frankly, Qualcomm is my setup. So, I got to be a little bit careful, about not falling guilty to FOMO, so to say, and trying to force my hand where just my setup isn't present. So, as long as the semis are setting up, for me, it's pretty much going to be the focus. In terms of big tech here, we took profits on Apple today on that push into 183-ish, which I think, that makes Apple close to being the first $3 trillion company ever. The key with trading these is you got to find a squeeze that offers a good entry. You do have a 15-minute squeeze here on Apple, but I like them on a 4-hour a daily. So, in terms of trying to catch a next leg to the upside on Apple, I think you kind of keep it that simple. Your 8 EMA here should be key support, and I think you wait until it chops enough to go into a 60-minute, maybe 30-minute squeeze. Then you try to pick your spot there. Another one of my favorites right now is Google. And I gotta like this one, right? Picture perfect, right? Picture perfect weekly trend. Stacked EMAs, green 10x bars, a squeeze, and nested inside of that weekly squeeze, you've got a beautiful 3-day, and you got a pretty decent looking daily squeeze. So I do think ultimately, as long as structure holds here, all said and done, that weekly squeeze could get old Google up around 3,200. So that's definitely an interesting spot, but there you go, my friends. I think the indexes look bullish here. I'm looking for higher highs, and I do think that your semiconductors are gearing on up here to play a pretty big role in that push to the upside. So that's all I got for y'all for now. If you haven't already, go on ahead and subscribe. We appreciate you watching, and cheers to a big 2022. I'll talk to you all on the next one.
What's up, traders? This is Taylor from Simpler Trading. I wanted to thank you for watching our video, and if you liked the video, go on ahead and comment down below, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon to get a notification anytime we upload our next video. And of course, if you want to watch us trade live in real time with our own money, check us out at simplertrading.com. Until then, trade safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.